Dr. Smith, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, family, friends, and once again, good evening to the Anne Arundel Community College graduating class of 2012. I would like to begin by saying that I am deeply honored to be your valedictorian and to have the privilege to speak on behalf of the class of 2012. Of all the tasks I have completed during my time here at Anne Arundel Community College, I must say that I consider this task to be of utmost importance, as I have the opportunity to speak to a group of men and women who are about to start a new chapter in the story of their lives. First, to all of the graduates, I would like to say congratulations on the successful completion of your studies. While I may not know all of you personally, I do know that we share some things in common, most obvious of which is our time here at Anne Arundel Community College. It is this commonality that I would like to explore further with you. I would like to share with you what this college means to me and the lessons I have learned during my time here. My hope is that you then would be able to reflect on these same aspects of your experience and leave here with a full understanding of exactly what you gained from this school. I think it may be more than you realize. Like many of my fellow graduates here tonight, I started at Anne Arundel Community College after having been away from school for a few years. Academically, I was behind my peers I had graduated high school with, many of whom were nearing the completion of their college degrees. In high school, I had worked hard enough to get by, but never worked hard enough to see my full potential. Finally, having grown up in Montgomery County, I was new to the Annapolis area altogether. Needless to say, I was intimidated at the thought of returning to school. I was unsure of myself and my potential to succeed in college. What I found during my first semester at Anne Arundel was not at all what I had expected. AACC was a comfortable and oddly familiar place to me for one particular reason: the leadership qualities of my teachers. From my experience of 5 years in the Marine Corps, I am well acquainted with good leaders. Good leaders lead from the front. They go above and beyond what they demand from their followers. They are passionate about what they do, and they evoke that same passion from those they lead. Finally, and most importantly, good leaders lift up those around them and put others before themselves. As I observed my teachers, I saw them display these exact attributes, and my confidence level immediately began to grow. So, to the teaching faculty and staff of Anne Arundel Community College, on behalf of the class of 2012, I would like to say thank you. So many of my teachers had an impact on me that to name them all would use up all of our time. But I would like to take the time to mention 3 teachers who I feel represent the teaching staff as a whole: Engineering Professor Elizabeth Weiler, English Professor Stephen Canaday, and Mathematics Professor Charles Davis. Each of these professors embodies what it is to be a teacher at AACC. Professor Weiler demonstrated astounding work ethic and irreproachable professionalism. She poured everything she had into her class and made it clear to her students that their learning and success was her #1 concern, even above herself and her time. Professor Weiler demanded much from her students, but led by example by giving even more of herself. Professor Weiler's work ethic was inspiring. Professor Canaday demonstrated an undying passion for his work. I found myself signing up for his courses not necessarily because of my enthusiasm for English, but because of his enthusiasm for English. Each class period, students would have to remind Professor Canaday when class was over, which was often met with a response of, "Okay, let me say just one more thing." Professor Kennedy's passion was contagious. Professor Davis demonstrated a joyful and personable nature. I remember sitting in the math building one morning, working on an assignment. It was my first semester back at AACC after having been away for over a year for a deployment to Afghanistan. I saw Professor Davis come in the room, and thinking that he wouldn't recognize me after a year and a half of being away, I just kept my head down and continued working. However, Professor Davis immediately came over to me with a big smile on his face and said, "Hey, Mike, how are you doing?" Professor Davis's personable nature was comforting. To the teaching staff of Anne Arundel Community College, you not only had an impact on my education, but on my development as a person as well. Your hard work, professionalism, passion, and concern for others was always evident as you taught. You put your students first, and as a student, I can confidently say that I want nothing more from my teachers, my leaders, than to know that they are for me and they want to see me learn and succeed. Your actions inspired me to work harder and dream bigger than I ever dreamed possible. Thank you for all you did. For my fellow graduates, I know that just as my teachers had an impact on me, your teachers also had an impact on you. I think what we as a graduating class can take away from here is the understanding that success is not always measured by personal gain. Our teachers gained nothing by putting in extra time and effort to ensure our success, but their work fostered confidence and ambition in our student body, and the results of their efforts will be seen for years to come. My charge to the graduating class is to remember what you learned here and carry that knowledge into the future. Work fiercely at whatever you do. Find your passion and give it your all, and ensure that you are putting others before yourself. One of my favorite quotes is from Dr. Martin Luther King, who said, "Either we go up together or we go down together." Each of us desires to be successful in the future. I encourage you that wherever you go, whatever you do, always lift up those around you. Your success hinges on it. Thank you, Anne Arundel Community College, and congratulations, class of 2012.